City manager at Augustus. Busy guy these days with lots of talk of paw socks and Amazon, but in particular we're pleased just a few days after the city of Worcester submitted a bid for Amazon. And Mr. Manager, maybe just for our viewers, actually there were a couple bids submitted, and I just think it's important maybe that for those who are not aware, there are kind of two irons in the fire for the city.
Yeah, no, that's right. We piggybacked on the state's application, so Massachusetts submitted an application that included the city of Boston and multiple other communities, really kind of building off the commuter rail corridor. And Worcester was able to submit 5 different locations in the downtown area using the Union Station as kind of the focus of that. So we have that opportunity, and then we submitted our own standalone proposal, which was really focused on about 100 acres off of Route 20. And one of the reasons we chose that location is because of the proximity to the road network there,
Right.
which was one of the requirements of the RFP from Amazon. So hopefully...
And that road network, Route 20, 146, Mass Bike Connector, Route 9, 290, 190.
Yeah, it really is an amazing kind of strategic location to access kind of many different parts of New England that you might be drawing from for a workforce or for people who are doing business and et cetera with Amazon. And there's also the commuter rail line goes there. There's not currently a stop there, but if you were talking about building a campus that would include 50,000 employees, I think you certainly could add a station there, as has been done at New Balance and other locations in the greater Boston area, if you were able to accommodate this kind of investment.
And so the second bid was in response to a fairly detailed request for proposal that Amazon put out, in which communities are responding to. And so the city, working with the Economic Development Coordinating Council, put a lot of that information together to respond to that and the commuter rail piece. But just again, if people aren't following it, I mean, what Amazon is proposing is a second headquarters, and you just hit the nail on the head, 50,000 jobs.
Yeah, it's incredible. I should say thank you. The Chamber really was indispensable in putting this whole proposal together, helping us collect all the data that was required to make the case and really putting it in a format that I think will stand us in good stead in terms of the Amazon application, but also other potential developers that we might want to pursue. But we've probably never seen and might never see again the kind of opportunity the second Amazon campus provides. 50,000 jobs, the average salary of those jobs is $100,000 a year. So it would be a complete game changer. And that's just that piece, not to mention all the businesses that would want to be co-located in the vicinity of that kind of talent pool.
And the other issue here too is every year, you've got to work to provide city services with a budget, and every year homeowners and businesses get the tax bill, and this is also besides 50,000 jobs. I mean, your estimate is that it would bring add an additional $2 billion to the city tax base, and with that, some options.
Yeah, it's incredible. If you just give you a sense of the scale, the city's budget is about $650 million. So we're talking about with just the Amazon development alone would generate more than 3 times the entire city budget annually.
Right.
So it's a unique opportunity. And then you think about this, and I've tried to make this point when I've talked to folks, is 50,000 new people come into the city, or some existing people take advantage of jobs at Amazon at an average salary of $100,000. That means a lot of people are going to Rotman's and Percy's and other Worcester area businesses.
Chamber member businesses, right? Yeah.
For goods and services to support themselves and their families. And so it has an amazing ripple effect throughout
construction,
the
supplies, IT, lawyers, it's the gamut.
Yeah.
There's some, and the city, I think appropriately so, is very aggressive, said we're going to compete for this. And they're saying, in order to capture, close to $1.5 billion in expanded tax base, we're willing to use a TIF and incentivize by putting $500 million on the table.
Yeah. I mean, you get some blowback sometimes when people say, oh my God, you're giving up that much tax revenue. Well, you can't give up what you don't have.
Right.
And any business person would tell you, if I could spend $500 million and get $1.3 billion back, that's a good deal.
Right.
Not to mention, that does not even capture the other kind of residual economic impact that would trickle throughout the entire economy in the city. So it is a huge opportunity for us to stabilize and maybe even reduce the tax burden for all of the other taxpayers in the city. And I think Worcester had to figure out how, when you're competing against close to 1,000 other cities in North America, how do you distinguish yourself? Right. You've got Denver, you've got, you know, Chicago, you've got major cities that you're competing against. How do you kind of punch above your weight as a city of 180,000?
And the proposal that's been submitted in the video, which is on the city website as well, but certainly the proposal has gotten a lot of attention. You know, Boston Globe writing about Boston Station. So again, punching above the weight and using this opportunity. I mean, hey, you know, I think we've got a competitive bid, hopefully.
Yeah.
But even if Amazon doesn't come, we're educating decision makers and other companies, developers, investors about all that Worcester has to offer.
No, that's exactly right. I mean, it was a good exercise in terms of gathering some of the data that in a format that is easily communicated to other potential investors and developers in the city. But it also, we had all of the Boston TV stations, we had CNN, we had Bloomberg, all picking up on Worcester's aggressive bid. And that means that there's thousands, tens of thousands of people, developers, decision makers in different companies that say, hey, what's this Worcester, Massachusetts? Look
Right.
at how aggressive they are. Look at how open for business they are. That might be a place to look for another company or another opportunity.
And that's important. You know, we've talked about this, but you know, Worcester competed back 30 years or so for Genzyme. Genzyme ultimately chose Boston, but a German pharmaceutical company, BASF, watched the process, the presentation that Worcester made, and came to Worcester. Subsequently, they sold the Worcester campus and intellectual capital to Abbott Labs, and now that spun off to AbbVie with over 1,000 employees up at our biotech park. So that's, you know, Amazon's the goal, but even if not successful, hopefully
there's benefits from the process. That's right.
Great, great. Well, we're looking forward to the decision making. What is the process, just in the minute we have left?
Basically, we're hopefully going to hear sometime around the end of the year as to who the communities are that are selected to be finalists. And then it'll be a much more in-depth process, probably site visits and real more negotiations. So they have 1,000 presentations to sort through. And hopefully Worcester is one of the ones that they have the follow-up visits with.
Yeah, no, it'll be could be a fun year in 2018 with various negotiations underway as we speak, and others hopefully on the horizon. So, I thank you, Mr. Manager, for being with us.